And welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So today is patch day, I believe for all platforms, and we'll be getting maintenance from 14 UTC to 16 UTC. And my oh my, there's definitely a few things they really needed to get fixed sooner than late. You may have heard the new rumors around of, air quotes, fusion characters. And well, I have one to present to you just here, and I can show you what's up with that. Before we get started, I'd like to give a massive thanks to all of these channel members for the added support. Now, with the Never Embers recruitment event, they had promised when you got to level 12 that you would obtain a free character loadout voucher. And many people were reporting that you were not obtaining this. And so, yeah, Cryptic have gone and made an announcement that if your character was created during the Never Embers recruitment event, this run or prior runs is level 12 or higher, has 9 or fewer loadout slots, you'll be able to claim one free character loadout slot from the services category of the Zen Market. That's pretty neat, especially with prior runs included. So any characters at all that you ever made during the Neverwinter recruitment event, they will get a free loadout. And loadouts don't come cheap. You check the Wondrous Bazaar and they're 400k base costs a piece. But you won't be able to abuse this, as it will be added directly to your character and does not go into your inventory first. So you won't be transferring it between your characters like you could in actual fact with the voucher, at least from what I've heard. So jumping into the patch notes, the first thing we can see is that, as promised on August the 9th, people who spent all that effort in order to obtain the Zariel companion from Milestone 3, the Regime Citadel, nearly 2 years ago, will actually be obtaining now their special make good for those players. As we can see, they'll obtain a gold winged version of Zariel along with a coalescent moat. You should receive that in your in-game mail, and there should indeed be only 100 of those people per platform, as they released the Zariel companion into the Astral Lockbox. Again, you can see their apology just here, as it was a little disrespectful through the sheer effort that the people had to put in order to obtain it. So nice to see that, and that means that going forward they will respect people's effort a little bit more. Now, more importantly, those of you trying to do Acquisitions Incorporated were getting stuck on Reptilian Extraction, you weren't able to complete it, and ultimately just a quick fix with Rise of Tiamat and the teleporting, and unfortunately they've gone and fixed Greed of Dragonflight. I will admit there were a few features in there that you could exploit, but overall it was some good fun getting all of these dragons to the stronghold. This would usually take you a lot longer than just simply killing them where they would spawn initially. However, people were able to abuse it by moving the dragons out of the scaled area to kill them faster, and also, for example, on green, having the ability to move him out of the area and then not take damage over time. Overall, it was making it a little bit easier, especially the fact that you could drag the dragon into the pond or the river, the moat, and the piranhas would just eat them and then they'd die real quick. Of course, that needed to be fixed, but having the ability to move them around the place is very fun. Having the ability to move them to the stronghold, group them up if you wish. The problem with that though is if you have more than 20 people, as we can see when we get near this red dragon, the dragons do go immune once you have 20 adventurers around the dragon. That's just why, Cryptic. Why? I understand, sure, if you have so many people, the dragon might die so quick, and that could be a negative. Otherwise, you could just go and nuke one dragon, move to the next, nuke them. I just find it a little bit more friendly if you can just all go to one dragon, kill them, finish the Dragonflight, go and kill the next dragon. But I guess they don't want to make it that easy. So indeed that will be fixed with the dragons having a much less generous leash radius. The mass dispel from, I believe, the green dragon Oxuno the treacherous will no longer persist for 10 seconds, repeatedly dispelling like you'd have on the Bard, I guess. And moving forward, most importantly, the drop rates for the Displacer Beast Whiskers should now drop more frequently. Now, it doesn't say anything about them dropping in Sharandar, so that's highly unlikely to be the case. You're going to have to jump into Vault of Stars and do a bit of grinding there. Very good in my opinion, because I want to get those wristlets or wrist guards from my Bard, but I don't want to spend upwards of 10 million plus to get them. And additionally, the Shard of Dawn's Light should also be a little bit more frequently dropped. Apparently, the unbound version of the Shadow Drake mount shall no longer incorrectly be unique, I guess, as they probably more want to be selling the Rage Drake from the Zen Market instead as the unique mount, rather than people selling that thing on the auction house. As we can see, there's a bunch of them here and they just look the same right now. Otherwise, just a few fixes here and there, but most importantly, what you may be waiting for is they've stated it as such, which I think is a little bit too much information, but the free retrains no longer cause characters to get into a funky state. But while this prevents future occurrence of this issue, they're still working on a fix for characters already in a bad state. And when we check the preview server where we've actually reproduced this, we can see we have our paladin here. And for some very weird reason, you may notice that it's the Justicar and its tab ability is Channel Divinity. Yes, indeed. I can use these big ass shields on myself. I can mark targets as well if we get another player online. Unfortunately, they're not in PE, but you can see I can mark myself with the angel wings. Yep, so that still fully functions with the Aura of Divinity. I could mark people and I could heal them with my tab. And I am a tank. You can see I can even use my Divine Touch on the Paladin and go and give people a shield like this. Yeah, not broken at all. Although my shields do seem to be like half as much as you'd have on, let's say, an actual healer. Anyway, it could be great fun, but it's completely broken and busted. Now, I don't want to go in depth on exactly how it works and how you could set it up, but they may have said a little bit much within the patch notes. Anyway, again, this should get fixed real quick. At least it's not going to go on for as long as legacy characters. Otherwise, just a few localization fixes there with names and such, and there's a known issue with Greed of Dragonflight where the Dragonflight helmet doesn't appear on Dragonborns. And ultimately, that's going to be today's patch. Somebody did bring to my attention that the leaderboard rankings did get a little bit messed up. Not sure why. Potentially some people were being credited more contribution after the event was over for some reason. I'm not sure if that's entirely correct, but hopefully the right people actually will obtain their golden Zariel. And one thing to note is that will actually be on Mythic quality by default, whether it's account wide or just character bound, who knows, but you will be claiming it from your in-game mail and only within several days of the release. So again, if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.